Hey there YouTube, Bad Fat Panda here, and I have another commentary. This is going to be another TBT between Zetnik's Taeja, who joined Slayers, and now he's on Liquid. So this is actually from the replay pack that I said that Liquid and Razor promoted it, was released. Usually, like, the reason that this is such a big deal to me is the fact that you rarely ever get to see replay packs from Codesk Koreans. And this is a really cool opportunity. So, I do not actually know who his opponent is. I am assuming that this is a ladder match considering the colors, but I will do my best to actually find out and then post his name in the title. But we do have Taeja as our blue Terran, and I will just call the other one red. They're both walling off. As actually recently, I have to say, this replay was from March 6th, to give you guys a, obviously there weren't any patch changes with this that affected this game, but I just wanted to give you, it's a little bit old, not too terribly old, but he is, we are seeing a gas first from Taeja. This is actually becoming relatively more popular in TBT recently, because I mean it serves as a really good timing. It gives you a lot of map control, and you can pretty much get to counter a lot of builds from just a 1-1-1 off of a gas first. We do see a red Terran taking a 13 geyser. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Obviously, we are on Antigua Shipyard, quite a fine map, in my opinion. It's pretty balanced, despite the fact that there are gold minerals here on the ladder version, and that you can spawn wherever. I really wish that Blizzard would enforce cross-spawn more often in their maps, because Entomb Valley would actually be somewhat doable for a lot more people if it was just like not this spawn fuck if you got close spawns in TBT. So, oh, we do actually see a Reaper. I really like this building placement too, but I want to see, alright, so we are actually going to see the Boxer build from, Taeja was actually, funny enough, Taeja was actually one of the first proprietors of this build in the Korean Weekly, and then Boxer used it in the GSL, and then 4GG actually used it against July in the GSL. That was the first time we saw it used against Zerg. And since then we have a lot of other people using it, and this is really quite a fine build. So I'll actually go ahead, because I've already sort of done a gas first, and this is actually the same, funnily enough, this is actually the same build you saw me use in my last TBT that I uploaded. But, so let's take a look here. As soon as you get this, as soon as you get the tech lab down, you throw out another gas, alright? So you have a 13 and a 15 geyser. Your factory comes before the second Reaper. It's really, you don't queue up a second Reaper, nope. You get the factory, and then you get the extra 50 gas. This supply depot is going to be a little late because you're putting so many additional minerals into the additional refinery, the factory, and all that jazz. So we actually, this is probably the straight up blind counter, this gas first build, because Banshees absolutely wreck everything in its composition. Sorry, I had a piece of pretzel stuck in my throat. It's rather uncomfortable. Alright, so he actually gets a good scout off. Let's actually take a look at what Red sees at the moment. He's 1. Alright. Oh yeah, he has to know that this is gas first, so there's going to be a Banshee coming. I would expect to see a reinforced... Whoa. Oh, no, never mind. He's just starting a starport now. So, alright, yeah, I really like this. Is he going to get Blue Flame? Oh no, he's getting tanks. I'm not sure how I agree with this transition, because, really, with the 1-1-1 build, you're going Hellion Banshee. Tanks can kill the Hellions, but I would really sort of like to see that gas in more Vikings, but I assume that that's what the reactor's for, so this is definitely going to be a heavy 1-base play. Off of the Reaper Hellion build, you can get an expo at 630, but this is going to delay his expo significantly longer than that. Unless he actually goes Marines. Oh, this is interesting. Alright. I can dig this, and now is Taeja going to go for Hellions? The traditional follow-up to this is Blue Flame Hellion. Yeah! Alright, he's going to get Hellion too? Blue Flame? Yeah, alright. So it looks like Taeja is either meching or going for some sort of Marine Medevac Hellion timing. Meanwhile, we have this Banshee actually coming over here. Let's see how much. I'll take down the name tag for the moment. And yeah, that Banshee's just going to get denied by that Viking. I would like to see an expo down here from our red Terran. He is just going straight up balls to the wall all in off of this. as I do not see a position for him to get an expansion in the next couple minutes. But we do actually have Taeja's almost complete, and with this reactor, he can immediately swap the factory onto it and produce double reactor Hellions. Obviously, he's really going to be kind of unprepared for the tank count of the red Terran, but I'd imagine he's going to push with 3 or 4. No, he's going to push with 3, and then siege mode will complete on the way, which makes very much sense. Alright. He also has complete air control, which is something that Taeja really needs to get on top of. If he can get a single Banshee and micro that well, without stim, he can theoretically just take this entire push out with a single Banshee. But in reality, it's a little bit different. So I'm assuming that since Liquid uploaded this replay, that Taeja is going to win. But if we take a look at the army tab, I mean, it's pretty much just Hellions for defense. I've been in this position a lot, and I very often lose to this straight up. So it'll be really interesting to see how somebody like Taeja handles this, as he is behind in the Viking count too. This is really, really detrimental. Alright, so he's sieging up in range. Red's playing this just textbook right. Taeja should salvage that bunker as fast as possible. Oh no, he's going to repair it. Alright, so he's stalling for time now until siege mode actually completes. We take a look back at the production tab, we see that siege mode is underway, and wow, that was really nice target firing actually by him. So yeah, he's going to, so now with the SCV target fire, but he actually has to burn scans at this point. And Taeja, wow, this is a really nice hold. Oh, and the flank with the Hellions, that was sexy. Alright, so that's how you do that, just micro like a god. Waiting until the first tank on siege to pull his SCVs was actually a very good decision, because then he could just surround the other tank and deal damage without the splash. And now, like I was talking about earlier, Red is just completely screwed. He has no economy behind this, and if we look at the workers, even after he killed maybe 6 or 7, Taeja's still up by 4 workers, and has an increasingly awesome economy as he gets more saturated on this other base. And he is going to 2 additional gas and starting to throw down additional factories here too. In terms of placing additional factories down when you're meching, if you can get away with doing it early, as like 7 minutes, 30 seconds, 8 minutes, if your opponent's not pressuring you, that's completely awesome. But if you're really getting one-based hard, you need that additional tech. You need siege mode, you need additional Vikings, maybe even a reactor on your starport. So that's pretty much what delays it. And yeah, Taeja can afford to do this because Red has to play defensive now while he expos. Taeja holds the middle, so if he loses this, then he can just go back and siege up right outside of his natural ramp, like Red is doing right now. And let's see. So yeah, I mean, he has been producing SCVs behind this, but the fact that he's delaying the expo this much is pretty much why this is all in. Oh, on siege! This is actually a big mistake from Taeja. He can punish this if he goes to target the siege tanks. Yeah. Unfortunately, he did not have high ground vision, so he is actually losing tanks. And that was very nice target firing from Taeja. He actually clicked on the tanks with the siege tanks of his in order to kill them. And yeah, losing 3 tanks like that is really... Taeja can afford that kind of trade, but Red really can't at all. Meanwhile, a Raven actually coming out. And now he's going... Oh, sorry, I missed this completely. Oh, why were the Vikings back here? Let's take a look at resources. Yeah, he still didn't kill that many. The 14, most of that was from the initial hit. But now with 3 bases up, there is really very little that Red can do. Unfortunately. And yeah, this barracks right here, it's great. As soon as you stop building add-ons with it, you put it to good use. I really like him being active. This might actually be Gumio. His playstyle is relatively similar. I wouldn't be surprised if this was Supernova either. Both have a relatively similar anti-mech play. Although if this was Gumio, I would expect him to add in more Banshees. And yeah, at this point his main is really close to mined out. He's not using the additional gas at his natural yet, but he is actually opting for a third CC immediately behind this harassment. And I mean, he got one more kill there, but oh, if he loses all these Vikings, it's really not worth it at all. Oh no, the PDD. And that should actually, it doesn't seem like that much losing those Vikings, but that could actually be game. And Taeja actually has a benefit of seeing this push coming, which is huge, and with it, he actually loses the air advantage, so yeah, he's just going to try and contain on the Watchtower now. The Watchtower will make up for his lack of air. And Taeja's just going to go break this. Oh, I really thought he would have had that if he had just committed. But Taeja playing it safe. I mean, he has a third up. He doesn't really want to do anything risky and waste his whole army for nothing, which I agree with. Let's see, is there an army on the map? Yeah, there is actually. He's researching +1, almost finished at the moment. General +1 timing for Korean mech is around 11 minutes. I don't know why, it just like everybody gets their armory around 11 minutes, regardless of their expo timing and such. We do actually see an additional starport coming down, and oh, 3 starports. Yeah, I think this is actually might be Gumio, because he's been doing a lot of things similar to this recently. Alright, so this is actually really cool. I want to see, I'm sure you've all, if you play Terran, you've been in these positions on Antigua where you may have an insurmountable economical advantage, but the opponent simply contains the middle, and you can't get really a tank in edgewise. So now he's just going to go balls deep with these Hellions. He doesn't actually do much. I don't think that was really cost effective for him. If we take a look at units lost, though, I'm sure that, yeah, I'm sure that Taeja is still ahead. Oh, if he had blocked that command center from lifting, that would have been pretty sexy. But yeah, Red's actually doing the right thing here. He's fortifying with bunkers. He's not necessarily putting all his units forward in order to defend counterattacks, but if we take a look at the income, that is what 3 bases does to somebody who delayed their natural till 11 minutes and 30 seconds. And we do, is this an additional barracks? No, this is the same barracks, alright? So we decided to float it over here now, with this turret coverage at his main. And it's really, high-stack auto-tracking really helps a lot with dealing with bio, because the anti-drop, oh wow. Yeah, this is what you need to do when you mech, is just spend all of your minerals in additional command centers, and build them into orbitals, and have some fun. Oh, oh man, I'm sorry. This is the first time I'm looking at this replay, so I am quite sorry for missing that incredible break, I'm sure. Let's see. Alright. Now we will go ahead and go back to this. View the Hellions again. But I actually want to see the timing on all this. So he does have a 50 supply lead right now. I mean, it's pretty much, he's had the game won since the initial attack failed. It's just sort of how he is, how he's advancing his in economy and army size at the same time without cutting either one or the other. You really have to balance it. I mean, there's really only one way that somebody can come back into a game, and that's by getting enough of an army or tech switching to something random enough to... Oh, he's just breaking up one angle. Wow, that is ballsy. The turret right here will actually immediately have all AI focus on it. So like the tanks and the marines will start shooting at that auto turret if it's in closer range than anything else. So that was actually a little cute thing by Taeja, but yeah, I mean, he just brute forced up there. I really like the siege too, despite the fact that there were enough tanks there to maybe cause him a little bit of trouble if they focus fired. He decided just to go ahead and break it. Alright, so high-tech auto-tracking is almost finished. And we do have additional orbitals coming down here and additional, this is really important, this additional reactor. So he's on 5 factors right now, but he has 2 reactors. That's pretty standard against any sort of bio or bio-tank play. And you put that gas into other stuff, like Thor's upgrades. He's getting an additional starport now, so this is when he's starting to transition. And we do have the Vikings coming down here. The little Vikings go out. Let's take a look at units, actually. I don't think... Oh, 12 Vikings to 6 Vikings and a Raven. That's actually a pretty huge difference. But as soon as these Thors are out, that's pretty much game. It was good for Red to focus down that Raven, but really at what cost. Taeja should really hit that Banshee. Oh, he's not going to win this. Oh wow, with the additional Vikings he does. Yeah, that was poor. I think, obviously before the Thors were out, I think Red could have actually had that engagement if he target fired a little bit better. Wasting a lot of shots on the Raven before you even take out the PDD was a bit unnecessary, as he wasn't banking on having Cloak or anything. Taeja would obviously have enough scans backed up to deal with that too. Let's take a look back at production. And he's still going Tank Viking behind this. I mean, he's not going Mass Thor. You don't really need to when you're meching. There's really very little reason to... And here we go. This is the last-ditch effort of Red to try and defeat this, but Taeja's just going for it. I mean, he has enough tanks. He could pretty much sacrifice this entire army and still come out ahead if he deals enough damage. I really don't like this indecision by Taeja, though. He seems to be... Oh, chillaxing for the Thors. Alright. And as soon as the Thors pop, that is game. And meanwhile, he's taking a 4th, getting some more command centers. Yeah, so that he pretty much did everything right. Let's actually go back to that break. It'll probably be around 8 minutes. Just to see what he did, because these are really... These all-ins are really popular on ladder. And I'm sure if you open up with an economical build like this, you will have some problems defending it without siege tech. So, he actually delays siege tech for quite a long time, but alright, let's take a look. Alright, so from this, he pulls all of his SCVs. It's really kind of, it's really kind of weird for Red to position his tanks over here. Because you can actually get siege from the high ground. Usually you see people pull their tanks over here, but we see the Hellions coming back at the same time as he was moving his SCVs forward. And he's just going ahead, splitting his reins a little bit, and that was just great. I mean, he came back from that, I mean, in a really, what looked like a really bad position, and just turned the game around, and this was pretty much unwinnable for Red after that point. So, I hope you enjoyed it. I will probably have, I think there's one of him versus Symbol and Life, and I'll get one of his TVZs. They're usually pretty freaking cool, because Taeja's TVZ is something special. So I hope you guys liked it. If you did, click the like button, all that jazz, and I'm just psyched to be casting again. I really, now that I have all my computers set up and stuff, it's a pretty cool thing to do. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed.